Well, another major bank rescued today. Credit Suisse, bought for pennies on the dollar by the banking giant UBS, a deal that was brokered by the Swiss government. Meantime, back here at home, stock futures are up, but Silicon Valley Bank still doesn't have a viable buyer at this point. The famed investor Warren Buffett now has reportedly been speaking with Biden administration officials about this and about the banking system, and the Federal Reserve will decide on Wednesday if it will continue to raise interest rates. Now, set all of that aside, all of it. And there's still a major question hanging over the financial system involving your money. Should all or just some bank deposits be protected? Joining me now is Dan Eberhart. He is the CEO of Canary. Hi, Dan. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So I think right now, when you look at just sort of the financial system, there's a lot of ingredients in the pot. Some of those ingredients don't really taste good. And nobody knows what the final recipe is going to be. Where do you think things stand now when we look at the banking system?
Well, first of all, I think this is more of a speed bump than parallels to the 2008 crash, or maybe a little overwritten at this time. Look, the money center banks, the four biggest banks that we all know, those are basically prepared for like a triple recession or like a Great Depression light. So I think the banking system will stand. But I think what you're seeing right now is a flight to safety. And, and I think what's going to be around the corner is more government regulation and more government overreach. But the ultimate problem here is inflation. And this just shows folks what too much inflation leads to. And these bank management teams are not used to managing in an environment where the Fed has raised rates this much.
There's a question about small banks and smaller banks and what all of this means, and the protection of money for individuals over $250,000 and for businesses that have over $250,000 in the bank, and whether or not that cap should be raised. I want you to listen to what Senator Elizabeth Warren said today when she was asked about that.
Sure.
Is it 2 million? Is it 5 million? Is it 10 million? Small businesses need to be able to count on getting their money to make payroll, to pay the utility bills. Nonprofits need to be able to do that. These are not folks who can investigate the safety and soundness of their individual banks.
What do we need to do with this cap? Should it be raised?
Sure. I don't think the cap should be raised, and I think Elizabeth Warren is headed in the wrong direction here. Look, we've got $250,000 of insurance. As soon as the administration of the FDIC rolls out a blanket, complete insurance for everyone, then we've kind of erased the capitalism part from banks, and we've just made them franchises of the FDIC or the Federal Reserve with different logos.
But so then the other side of the question would be, well, if you've got more than $250,000 as an individual or as a business, why would you leave it in these smaller regional banks? Why wouldn't you put it in some of the bigger banks? Because you know that if anything were to happen, the government would bail them out. So why keep your money in the smaller banks? This was something that Senator James Lankford of Oklahoma brought before the Treasury Secretary earlier this week. Watch.
So what is your plan to keep large depositors from moving their funds out of community banks into the big banks? We have seen the mergers of banks over the past decade. I'm concerned you're about to accelerate that by encouraging anyone who has a large deposit in a community bank to say, we're not going to make you whole, but if you go to one of our preferred banks, we will make you whole at that point.
Look, I mean, that's certainly not something that we're encouraging.
That is happening right now.
Real quick, isn't that sort of the pickle? Either put these regional banks at risk or lift the cap to infinity?
Well, Senator Lankford makes a good point, but the fact of the matter remains the small banks are Main Street America, and the money center banks just don't have what a lot of small and medium-sized businesses need. And we've got to resist the urge to overregulate and create a system where only the four biggest banks or the 8 biggest banks are worthy of all the deposits. I think that's a policy problem for the government. But, look, Joe Biden has screwed up the economy by injecting this inflation in, and this is a symptom of the large inflation crisis. And the government needs to not overregulate and push us all into the top 4 money center banks. I think that would be a disaster for Main Street America.
Dan Eberhart, have to leave it there, CEO of Canary. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.